Welcome back to the Legacy Podcast. My name is Olisya Grant, co-founder of Matrix Legacy Inc. We are back for episode number 46. This is the show where we create a blueprint for success, we look for ways to create generational wealth, and we break those chains of a poverty mindset. I am feeling increasingly grateful for each and every one of you. This is such a rewarding experience, being able to just talk transparently about where I am, the things that are working for me, the things that aren't, and I really just encourage each one of you to do the same. Talk it out. There's no reason to feel like, you're behind the 8 ball, or if you're just getting started, that there's any reason to be embarrassed of that, or if you're far along, that there's any reason to hide that or shrink that. If you're finding success and you can share it in a way that's valuable and useful to others, then that's definitely something you should be doing. The more that you give out, the more that's going to come back to you. We've talked about that multiple times before, but just really wanted to take a moment to encourage, again, that information share, and just to thank you guys for spending some time with me today in all these weeks that we've been together. So welcome if you're brand new, and sending all the love in the world, whether you've been here from the beginning or we are just getting started. So on today's episode, in the midst of the conversation of wealth, the first thing people think about is budgeting, is saving, investing, and things of that nature. But what often gets breezed over or skipped over is the actual goal setting phase and the visualization that comes with it. And what's made me think about, well, one, it's been requested, and two, what made me really think about this topic is the fact that last year was the first time I actually took a vision board seriously. I've heard a lot of very successful people, mentors, Oprah, athletes, everybody who you could think of who's found a certain level of success has created a vision board somewhere along their journey, and they encourage us to do the same. So we're constantly encouraged to create vision boards and write our goals out on paper, but I don't know if it's like resistance. I don't know what it is that took me so long to actually write my goals out on paper. And I know many people who've maybe they found a certain level of success already, and they're starting to think, well, if I can already do this without writing it down, then why would I need to write anymore? Or why would I need to make a vision board? What am I doing a collage or a cut and paste for if I've already been able to find success? So sometimes it comes from that. Sometimes it comes from, I just don't have the time, or I just don't feel like it. I don't know what it is for you, or if that's even you. But in my case, it took me a very long time and hearing the same thing over and over and over again before I decided to actually try it out. And so last year, my husband and I together, well, separately, put together vision boards. And another piece of that is that you have to be intentional. Take the time to revisit the things that you posted on your vision board and things like that. But just the act of having one, we placed it right up by our bed. So every morning, whether we stop to look at it or not, your subconscious is taking in those messages and reminding you of what you set out to do at the beginning of the year. It's very easy to get excited about a goal when you first make it, but a month later, 3 months later, 6 months into the year, are you still as excited, or do you even remember what the goal was that you had set at the beginning of the year? And so subconsciously, us seeing that board every single day, whether we paid true attention to it or not, slowly but surely, without even realizing it, almost, I would say about 85% of the things on my vision board were complete. There's only a few things that I didn't get to accomplish from last year that I've now transferred over onto my board this year. But it's just insane, the actual power of it. When you put the things that are in your mind onto paper, something changes. Something happens in the way that you observe what's happening around you, and the intention that you use behind every action or behind every opportunity or whatever it is that you're taking on. Something changes once your goals are written out on paper. And so this is not really, I don't necessarily have any guidance or anything like that, but I do have a few points to think about. This is more so a conversation and encouragement to go ahead and start visualizing and actually putting pen to paper and scissors and glue and whatever it is to paper so that you can hit the targets that you're looking to achieve. I believe a giant part of visualization is that you have to be the person that you're looking to become before you actually get there. So for example, if your goal is to be a multi-millionaire, let's say that's the goal for you, you have to think as a millionaire would think. You have to move and speak and build and act the way that a millionaire would act. Like, what kind of traits, what kind of relationships are they building? What kind of habits have they built up? What kind of conversations are they having? What books are they reading? And really study it to that point. And if you start taking the same actions, they say, if you do what they do, then you'll get what they get, right? And so it's really a process of being. And for those of you who've been following, I did speak about Atomic Habits before. And the reason I spoke about that book is because in there, a giant part of what he's speaking about, in order to be able to build those success habits that you're looking for, it's more so about the journey and the things that you do every day and less about the goal. Yes, set the goal so you have the target, but focus more on what you're doing consistently every single day, or who you're being every single day on your way to that goal. So by no means does this mean, don't set your goals and don't focus on what you want the end result to be, because that's the key point. You need a target, you need a destination, you need something to plug into your GPS. But then you have to actually do something. You have to put your foot on the gas, and you have to consistently move at a certain speed and follow whatever signs are on the road in order for you to end up at that destination. So at the end of the day, it's amazing that you got to where you were going, but it was the journey between where you started and where you ended up that was really the most important part. That was the act of being, of doing. And so it's really important that we don't miss out on that. Now, one thing that I've learned is that vision boards can come in different forms. It doesn't just have to be something, a cut and paste out of a magazine. You can really, it might be an audio vision board. Like, it might be something that you listen to every single day. It could be something that you put on your phone, like a digital version. It could just be written, because different people are going to connect with different forms of communication, even to themselves. And so play around with it a little. If just the idea of cut and paste is not interesting to you, well, find something that does excite you, something that you are interested in going and looking back at daily, weekly, monthly, and revisiting it constantly, so that you stay on track to where it is that you're going. The main idea here is that you just have to be very clear on where it is that you're going, because if the vision isn't clear to you, then it's not going to be clear to anybody else either. And you're not going to be able to identify the resources, the people, the opportunities that you need to take advantage of in order to get you closer to those goals. And what happens is, when you see it repeatedly, the reason most people don't get through on their goals is like the excitement, it fades away. Or you get distracted by something else that comes up that just seems more enticing at the time. So even though the original goal that you set was important to you at the time, and it might still be something important, distractions are flying at us left and right all day, every day. But if you have a specific point, a vision board, an audio, a picture, something on your phone, whatever it is that you're constantly seeing, well, then that triggers your brain to understand that you're not about to quit. This is not something that you're leaving behind. And so you force yourself to start finding ways to make it happen. You're forced to figure it out and identify the things that are going to get you to the place that you said you wanted to get to in the first place. And the reason that all of this is so important anyways is simply because you putting it on paper. The Bible says to write the vision and make it plain. And the reason you're doing that is because it's the exercise of actually creating your life. It's you putting things in place and saying, this might be where I am, but this is not where I'm going to be forever. This is a temporary holding tank on my way to where it is that I'm looking to go, because I want to build the life that I'm supposed to have. You would never have any ideas or visions or concepts on your heart or on your mind if you couldn't actually achieve them. And so once you put it on paper and you're able to actually start seeing them, well, now you're making your life instead of just letting life happen to you. The worst mistake we can make is thinking that we don't have options. But what happens to so many is we let go of the thing that we wanted to pursue because something tells us that we're not worthy, or somebody tells us that we can't have all the things that we want, or we have those limiting beliefs. And what happens is we get whatever's left over, and we get fit in and positioned with whatever the leftovers are from those people who have chosen to build their lives. And so what I mean by that is people who make decisions and create vision boards and goals and to-do lists, and they stay consistent with the things that they're doing every day, never giving up on their dream. well, things are going to start falling together for them. And as their own dream, their own life is falling together, and you haven't made the decision for what you want to do with yours and what direction you want to take your life, well, those people are just going to fit you right into theirs. They're going to fit you right into their own vision board. So those people who have chosen to make their dreams come true, that might be your boss, that might be the government and the way that system works, that might be a family member, whatever it looks like. They've made a decision for what they want to do, and you just so happen to fit inside of their vision board. But what about yours? It's okay if there's a collaboration there, and your vision board just so happens to intersect. But a lot of times we just get positioned in somebody else's dream because we were too scared to have and pursue our own. And so this is why it's so important. Whatever your money goals are, whatever your wealth goals are, whatever your vision for your family's future, your own future, your health, whatever it is, once you get it out on paper or just get it out of your mind and into a place where you can revisit it and remind yourself of what it is that you're working towards, that's usually the missing piece of the puzzle that gets left behind, that gets left out. Because it sounds so superficial. It sounds too good to be true. Oh, just write it out. Oh, just cut it out of a magazine and it will come true. It's not just that. You actually have to go and do and work towards it. But seeing it constantly and being able to revisit it really highlights the process and who you have to be before you become. You have to be a wealthy person before you obtain wealth. But you have to actually be able to see yourself with whatever wealth it is that you're looking for, with the body, the mindset, the destinations, whatever. You have to be able to see it. Because again, if you can't see it for yourself, well, then nobody can see it for you either. You have to see it as clearly as you can and actually put yourself there before you get there. And if you don't believe me, that's really okay. I want you to try it out and find out for yourself if it's true. Because I was the skeptic. I was the, I could cut and paste later until I actually did it and saw everything start falling into place right before my eyes. But I had to give myself that opportunity and that shot to actually try it with intention to realize that it does indeed work. So that's really all I've got for the day, guys. As I said, I didn't necessarily have any pointers or anything. This is more so just to encourage you that if you're feeling stuck, it's likely because you're not clear on where it is that you're going. And you might not yet have shifted your mindset to believe that you're deserving of the things that you're hoping for, the goals that you have in your mind. Because if you did believe you were deserving of it, then you would already see yourself with it. And you would already be able to start identifying the tools, the resources that are going to get you there faster. And so getting it out on paper, whether it be through vision boards or any other type of visual that you can revisit, is definitely a step in that direction. So that's all I've got for the day, guys. I do hope that helps somebody. If it did, let me know. Send this to a friend. Like, comment, subscribe, leave a review. All of that helps more people find the show and receive the same message. If you are enjoying this content, you can download the Matrix Legacy app available in the App Store, where you can keep up to date with all of our Matrix Legacy content. I will be here next week with another building block for success. Until next time, let's build a legacy.